So I am going to, I'm going to start. Okay. So let me just share my screen. So today I'm going to share with you, and the order here is completely inverse. First, I'm going to talk to you about some best tips. Then I'm going to talk to you about SEO. Then I'm going to talk to you about visuals, and we'll be finished by 1 o'clock today. If you're interested, June 7th, I have B2B, including LinkedIn. So if you're a business to business kind of company where you're selling to other businesses, I'll be focusing on just that type of distribution model through digital on the 7th. So that's also going to include some email marketing and a lot of LinkedIn and targeting on Facebook and Instagram, and a little bit on Twitter, but it'll be all B2B. On June 12th, July 12th rather, because I think the first week of July, it falls on a holiday, the first Monday, we'll be leveraging the power of Facebook ads. I did a big webinar not too long ago for a specific client of mine, and there is a lot of new things in Facebook ads on how to target your ads. For example, you can, when you're watching a YouTube video and there's an ad that shows up in the video. So on Facebook, you can do the same thing. And you may have noticed that recently where you're watching a Facebook video and all of a sudden it gets interrupted about 5 seconds in or 10 seconds in with an ad. So there's that, for example. So there's a number of different ways on Facebook. The one I always share is how to boost a post, which is still my favorite, but there are other ways you can use Facebook ads. So that's what that one's going to be on the 12th. And then the 9th, I've been asked specifically by people to get into more detail on SEO, search engine optimization, and organic growth and Google Analytics. So that's what August 9th will be about. If you have future requests, let me know and I'll put them in for September, October, November, but I really don't want to talk about those months yet. So that's what we're talking about. So today I'm going to talk to you about website tips, choosing the right platform for what you offer, and the power of visuals. Okay, so who am I? For some of you that don't know me, actually, I think you all know me, so I might just skip over this. I'm Sophie Andrell. I spend half of my time working hands-on with my posting clients. So I sit here and I create content for them. I pop out, I collect photos and videos, then I create them for them and I post on their behalf. And then the other half of my time I spend training. Why do I do these free sessions? Is because it helps me position my training. It helps me understand what you need. So I love being able to give back some way. And this is my way of giving back in part, but also I'm able to package this together for some of those clients that have access to my video tutorial system. And that would be the Innovation Cluster, Peterborough Chamber, the Tecumseh Futures Community Futures Business Development Organization, and a few others. So this helps me create my content. This is where I was last year, this time. These are the people I had already presented to. I thought it was funny when I went looking through my presentations for some material for today. I realized, oh, these were the people I was coaching when the pandemic first hit. And since then, I could show you, I don't know how many hundreds of people I've been lucky enough to coach. So I thank you very much for letting me into your worlds. And this was from exactly a year ago, which I thought was interesting. So let's talk about your website. So today we're talking about you're either refreshing or you have an existing website, or which is refreshing, or you're doing a new website. So these are some of the steps I suggest you go through. Susie, do you have a question? Yeah.
So I know you can't always see the chat when you're presenting, and Dave Nabby has just said he can't see the screen. I'm not sure if he just has to click on something so he can see.
Yeah, sorry, it says Sophia started screen sharing. That's all I see.
Has anyone, what are you watching on, Dave? What kind of computer do you have? I wonder if his video's not, his Wi-Fi is not strong enough. I
Dave,
see his.
Dave is muted, and I just want to add, Sophie, that the rest of us, or certainly I, can see everything fine. So it's Dave, and Dave, you're muted.
I'm going to ask him to unmute.
Okay.
He's going to get a button that he can click on. There you go. Any luck, Dave?
No, it might just be my Wi-Fi then.
Yeah, it could be. Now, when you are, what do you see on your screen? Yeah, it must be his Wi-Fi because he keeps on.
It says Sophie has started screen sharing, so it didn't come through. I don't know. Sorry.
Well, you know what you're going to do is go off and come back on, love, and see if that works. Okay. So we'll see you soon. Okay. Hey, Linda, I just saw that you're there. Nice to see you. Okay, so this is what I suggest you do. You're going to take a step back and refresh your strategy. That's what I'm going to talk about first, and then on your website. So that's kind of obvious when you think about it. You're going to think about, who am I selling to? What's my value proposition? What do I do better than anyone else? Or what do I do uniquely compared to everyone else? To help you do that, I'm going to share with you how to do what's called, I call a website audit. It's not dissimilar to what I shared with you all on how to do your social media audit. So some of you that had gone through the strategy session with me back in January already, we did a social media strategy then. So this is similar to that. You're going to feel comfortable when you see the website audit and what that process is. And then I'm going to talk about the other things you do is, think about your value add, your strategy. We're going to show you how to do an audit. Then you're going to look at keywords, because like I've always said, anything you do online, it's like a matchmaking system. If you indicate that you do, that you create unique party gifts or gifts for mom, and you don't say that anywhere, then you're not going to come up when people are looking for gifts for mom. So we need to know what your keywords are. And we're going to look at what your clients think your keywords are and what your competitors are using for their keywords. And then you're going to think about, what am I offering online? What are the key steps I want my visitors to do? Do I want them to buy something? Do I just want them to look at something? Do I want them to call me? So these are the 5 things we're going to think about when you are looking at your current website or creating your new website. So for your taking that step back, for step number 1 is your vision. Why you? Why would they buy from you versus someone else? A good way to think about that is, what are your clients' stories? What are they saying about you that will appeal to other customers? So if you can always put yourself in, I'm going to skip to the last one here, and then I'm going to go back. What pain you're solving for your clients, that helps you come up on Google, because often your clients are going to search by who offers blank, or how do I fix blank? How do I get something? So what is that something that you're solving? It needs to be in plain English on your very homepage so that Google sees that's what you're offering. It needs to be what your clients are searching for on Google. It needs to be part of what you do better than anyone else. And then I go back to your beliefs. If you're a family-run company, no one else can be your family. So that's kind of cool. So maybe your beliefs are in your family system, or in a community, or in the environment. What are your real beliefs? People like working with companies who have a soul, who have a real belief. So if your beliefs can come through when someone is quickly looking at what you're all about, they found you and they see that you actually have a soul, then you're not as clinical and people will remember you. And then, who is your target market? You need to know, who am I reaching? Not just the age, but where are they located? We went through this with Colleen, and we went as far as, where are you going to ship your product to? So that's your target market. If you're not planning to ship overseas into Europe, if you're not planning to ship into a different province, then that's not your target market. A lot of the companies I work with, those 7 that I do their posts for on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, most of those companies, their target market happen to be 50 kilometers around where their physical location is. So in there, we make sure that we say that, we state that right on their homepage, that we service, the London, Ontario area, and we might indicate the other locations around there. So that's important. So the tips on your audit is you're going to review your own website. You're going to review your competitor's website. And then you're going to ask your clients, these are the 3 things you want to think about when you're doing your audit, what they like or don't like about websites in your industry, because you may not have a website yet. So again, review your own site, review your competitors, and don't forget that very important 3rd step of asking your clients what they like or dislike about websites in your industry. So this is what an audit looks like. Again, as I said, it would be familiar to those of you that we did the digital marketing audit together with. And so first line in it is your website, your company's name. The second row would be the person that you're comparing yourself to, business number 1 or 2, and what is their company name and their website. I like putting the link in here so I can go to it. And then maybe the 3rd one would be someone else. Now they could be people that are physically real competitors that are like they serve the exact same region, or it could be someone in a different country that you really, wow, these people really got it going on. So who are those businesses that you want to compare to? So pick at least 2 of them. I like to pick 3, but pick at least 2 of them. And then look at their types of menus. What are the menus like? What are the pages on their site? So what are their menus? What do they have? They probably have an About Us. Do they have a video gallery? Do they have a product gallery? Do they have a blog area? So what are the different pages? So you want to write that down because you're learning at this point what they're doing. And then what kind of visuals are they having on their site? Do they have videos? Do they have galleries? Do they have a social stream that automatically that automatically updates their websites? So you want to start looking at that kind of information. And then this one is critical. What are their call to action buttons? So the call to action button, and I'm going to get into each one of these individually, but a call to action button is where you're looking at the page and this button pops off of the page at you and it says, click here to call us, or click here to message us, or click here to talk to a live agent, or click here to shop now. So what are their call to action buttons? And then About Us. The About Us is important. Google likes the About Us, but humans like the About Us. Often what we'll do is we'll go to the About Us to see if we even want to do business with this company. And that's where your beliefs come through. So it could be a video from the actual owner. It could be from the team talking. This is where you want to talk about why you're in the business you're in and your belief system. And you want to do it with some photos because that's a great way to actually present yourself. And then one of the items that I've added recently to this chart was the live chat. I'm finding that because of COVID, one of the things that have changed significantly is people are looking to have live chats online with people versus picking up the phone. They want to know they can do a live chat, whether it's through Facebook, through Messenger, or on the website. And sometimes it happens to be the exact same messenger that Facebook offers. There's an app where you can add it to your website. So all the chats are coming through one location. Happens to be your website messenger. It appears on your website. But I'm going to show you a tool that I found that we're using on Kawartha TV and Stereo, and we're going to be using on some other clients as well. So I'll share with you some live chat. So that's important. What's nice about the live chat is you can say, we're here from 10 till 4. That's when the live chat is. Or you can indicate someone is live now. If they're not live, put in your email and password, or sorry, just your email, and they'll get back to you. So back to your menus. Menus, it's interesting. It's another one that I was looking at in my past information. It always said have an odd number of menu items. What I'm finding now it's saying is 7 should be the maximum number of menu items that you have. I find 5 is a good number, anything under 5. You want to really take ownership of directing your visitors' experience. Don't give them too many choices. You want to direct your visitors' experience, which is why having, they say under 7 is the right amount for your website. For your visuals, make sure that they are compressed, meaning that they don't put up a 20 gigabyte photo, which I don't even think you could, but don't put up a really big honking photo because your website's going to take forever to load. So you want your website to load quickly. So why is that? Because if your website loads too slowly, number one, people lose interest. Remember, I always say people have attention spans of gnats. They're gone in a second. If you haven't caught their attention and you're downloading, as well as Google is going to punish you as far as how you're found. So it's not going to present you high up on your SEO, on search engine optimization, if your site takes too long to load. That's why you want to make sure you're compressing your visuals. And then your call to action buttons, they need to be really big buttons. And I say that I'm oversimplifying, of course, but you can imagine the idea here for your call to action buttons is think of it what it looks like when they go onto their cell phone to look at your website. What happens there is if you have a really, small type and there's click here to see more, they're not going to see it on their cell. What you want people to see is a really big call to action button where on the cell it sticks out. So that's kind of why you want the large call to action button and just 1 or 2 on the main page. Okay, so that's your website audit. So this is an example of menus. So clean, simple menus, as you can see up here. I think he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And on there, I like what they have. Software happens to be their homepage. Then their about, case studies. So what do clients say about us? Their partners gives them some credibility, pricing, and their blog. So it's a very simple, clean navigation. This is a 2021 example of a good website. And then a clean header. We're going to talk about that. When you are creating your website, whether it's on Wix, whether it's on WordPress, whether it's on Square, whether it's on Weebly, and I was going to say Squarespace is what I meant to say, there is a place where it asks for your header on each page. Google reads the header. So you want to make sure, and I'm not sure I like this header to tell you the truth. I'm not sure how many people would say, how do you grow your business for it to get found? But this is where your header should have a few of your keywords in it. And then there's something called a subheader, which is the second line, which also Google reads. That's also important so that it has your keywords. So in this case, it says all the countries that use it, HubSpot marketing and sales software to grow your business. And so you're hoping people are going to be, in this case, say, what is the marketing software? You can come say hi. And so, and then what's the next big thing on here? They're call to action buttons. See these 2 buttons, start a trial, learn more. So basically when they're coming in, they've thought about it. They've taken a step back and they said, I want people to do 2 things when they're on our site. I want them to start a trial, or I want them to learn more about our platform. So they got 2 giant call to action buttons. Pretty cool, right? So that's kind of what you want to think about. If you can emulate that, that works out quite nicely. So the keywords, that's the second part. So what keywords are people using? So look at your Google Analytics. So if you have a current website, I apologize. If you have a current website, make sure that you have your Google Analytics enabled in your current website. So Google Analytics is something we're going to talk more about in the session that I called SEO. I don't remember, I think that's August. And in that, you can get a Google Analytics account. I suggest it be the same account that manages your Google listing, which is critical to your success. So you get a Gmail account and claim your Google listing. You can also then go to Google Analytics with that same Gmail account. It gives you a code and you put that code in your current website. Then you're able to go back, usually it takes 3 days, and it'll start telling you what keywords people used to find your website. And of those keywords that they used, how many, so these 4 keywords, perhaps I'm making it up, they actually stayed on your site for a little bit. These other keywords, when they came to your site, they bounced. For some reason, your website attracted people for these keywords, but it didn't keep their interest. So it gives you a lot of information, tells you which page on your website they go to, but most importantly here, what are your incoming keywords? Then look at your Google listing as well. It will also tell you which keywords people were using for when your Google listing came up on the search results. In the keywords and the geography, look at your competitors that you looked at in the Google audit, in the audit, and see what words are they using in their header, in their subheader, what words are there, what words are laced in their website. So what keywords are they using? And are they indicating the cities they sell to? So as those of you that know me, it's very important that you put in your website not only your keywords, but also serving, and you want to list the cities that you serve, because that helps Google know when someone says, I need to find rentals for blank in this area, it's going to look for those keywords, and it knows which area they're in. So that works hand in hand together. Then ask your clients, as I said, what keywords they would use when they're looking for a business in your industry. So you're asking them now what they like and dislike about companies in your websites in your industry, and you're also asking them what keywords they would use in your industry. Okay, so as I was saying, your headline, I already mentioned, it's a single sentence or 2 that talks about what your company does. And how you want to think about it is when they see it, your visitors are going to say, yeah, I need that. This is going to solve my problem. So what problem are you solving? Okay, so also you want to think about it when your clients are saying, hey, Google, where can I go for sleep disorder experts in the area? Oh, now she's going to try and answer, but
I don't have any information about that.
okay.
But I found something similar.
Hey, Google, stop. So anyway, so so you want to think about that, because it will now look at your websites or other websites around you. It'll also look for what you've written in your Google listing to answer those questions. So that's where they're going to get those answers from your headline. So think about it that way. When someone is saying, hey, Google, how can I get help with sleep disorder? It's, hey, Google, stop. She's going to try and read the websites that have the right headers in them to give them the answers. So that's how you want to use that. And as I was saying, your subheading, what problem are you solving? Okay, those are big questions. It's like, what problem am I solving? Distilling it down to a sentence so that you can have the right keywords, the right message on your site. And don't forget the geographic areas. And what I mentioned that is think about to who are you selling and where are they located. You also want to list that on your website, or else Google won't know how to, it won't include you in the answers if you don't say you're servicing a certain area. Okay, so what does Google want? What does it even want? It wants, and this is a nice little checklist, it wants a header, or sorry, it wants a headline on each of your pages. So again, if you have 7 pages, 7 key pages, each of your pages might have a drop down with more information, so that's okay. But each of your main pages is what it's going to look at, and it needs to have a headline with keywords. It needs to indicate what cities you service. So it could be that you're North America, it could be your global, or it could be that you're Etobicoke and North York. So you need to indicate what your cities are. Photos with keywords. So when you upload your photos to your website, remember what'll happen is your photos on your cell phone or on your computer or on your camera, depending on what you're using to capture your photos, they're going to be called IMG 12346, some weird number, which does not add any value to your website. So before you upload it to your website, look at that photo and add one of your keywords to it. So if it's a photo of something that you think someone is going to search for in this keyword and you would love that photo to show up, then you need to put that keyword as what your photo is called. So what I do is before I upload my photos to my websites, I right click on my photos and I rename them something that has a keyword in it. That's what you want to do. So you want to make sure, so Google is looking for your photos to support the keywords that you're saying your website is about. Okay. And then videos from YouTube. I've mentioned this before to some of you. Your videos on YouTube are critical to your website because Google owns YouTube. So if you can upload a video to YouTube that's about us, that are client success stories, that are using the keywords in the description that you've uploaded to YouTube, then you put that YouTube link on your website and it forms into a thumbnail that helps Google see what you're about as well. The other thing Google needs is mobile friendly. It needs to know that your website transforms easily onto a mobile phone. If it doesn't, it won't bring your website as forward on search results. Just like if your website loads slowly, it's not going to bring your website forward on search results. So mobile friendly, fast loading, easy navigation. It's looking to see what your navigation is. It doesn't want pages that it's got to be obvious. And like I said, 7 links or less. Google Console. Don't forget when you finished your website to feed it to Google Console. I'll show you an example of that because then that helps Google with you've got your Google Analytics. I would use the same email to feed your website to your Google Console. And then HTTPS. If you have a website that doesn't have the S, which only costs maybe, and I can't remember, say $20 extra a year, Google won't take your website seriously. So my actual website is sophieandreo.com. Then I bought 123 Digital Power that I point to my services pages on my website, but that doesn't have an S. So I know it's not going to come up. So I know it's one of those things I need to upgrade so that it's S. S is security, HTTPS. So when you look at your site, wherever you bought your domain from, make sure that you also bought the security feature so that Google will take it seriously. And then don't forget your Google My Business listing. Nothing is more important than your Google My Business listing to your success as far as Google knowing what you're all about. And we're going to talk about that more in August as well. So that's what Google needs. This is going through my Wix background, back end. As many of you know, I've created quite a few websites for clients on Wix. And when you're about to finish your website, you're able to go through your SEO area. You can do this on also your Weebly accounts, your WordPress accounts, and your Squarespace accounts. and it allows you to also connect your site to your Google Council. So go through that step on the websites that you've created, or if someone's created it for you, maybe sit with them on a Zoom and go through making sure that they've connected your site to Google, so it's coming up in your Google search results. And most of these web site builders have steps that you will go through to make sure that your SEO is proper. This is going into Google Council. After you've set it up, it's going to show you how many clicks, how many impressions you've had in the last few months or in the last month. It'll show you what people were clicking on. It'll show you the keywords. So your Google Council becomes something you can go back to see how you're performing and which which actual pages people are going to and which keywords they've used. Like I said, the back of every website, when you're creating it, there is something called an SEO wizard. Don't forget to take your site through the SEO wizard after you've created it. So just to recap, then we're going to go on to visuals. You want to make sure you have 7 or less pages in your menu. You want to make sure you've thought through what your subheading is, so that your heading and your subheading, so it drives your keywords. You want to make sure you've thought through what your call to action is, 1 or 2 call to actions, so it's very obvious. So you're guiding them through the process of what they're going to do on your site. Okay, and then what you want to do is think about, what am I selling online? What do I want people to do on my website? Do I want to sell physical products, services, or digital products? And this is going to help you determine what kind of website you need. Or do I want just client support on my website, live chats, or maybe schedule a video chat or an appointment with us? Especially with COVID, a lot of people are scheduling live chats, or they have a live chat person standing by. So what do I want them to do online when they're on my site? So I want them maybe to buy products. Maybe that's one of my call to action buttons. I want them to contact me. Maybe you have a, click here to phone me, or click here for my contact page. Search for products. Maybe I just want them to search for my products or services. Maybe I want them to watch my videos. So these are examples of your call to action buttons. I love call to action buttons because you can actually measure it later with your Google Analytics. You can see exactly someone came in using this keyword and then they clicked on this call to action button. So that keyword ends up attracting the kind of people that want that call to action button. It's awesome. So it's very, very effective. This is that little tool I thought I would share with you in case you're interested. It's called livechat.com. Livechat.com is a tool that allows you to put a live chat on your website, where it could be just chatting through text, which is their entry level, or you can live chat using video. So say you have a type of service that it doesn't make sense just chatting with text. They're going to want to see me, and they may want to show me something in their house. So it's basically what this is doing. It's got an API to Zoom or an API to Google Meet. So it's using their base software, which is livechat.com, on your website. And then you're also adding the dimension of video, where they can where you can come up live as a video, which is pretty exciting. So that's just a nice thing that I think is going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. And we're finding that live chat videos are huge on people's websites, and that the live chat with the video is something that's fairly new, but this tool is pretty good at it. And again, we use it on Kawartha TV and stereo, where you can come in. If you're not there, in this case, they weren't there because I did this late at night, and it ends up, you put in your name and your email and subject, and they get back to you. If they were there, Sean is the person that happens to manage this for Kawartha TV. He comes up and he talks to them. He's their sales manager, so he knows all about the products. So you want to put someone there that obviously can answer the questions. So that's the tips on the website. I know that was a lot of information, but I'm hoping I made it simple for you. So choosing platforms, I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. and then we're going to focus on visuals. So there's a lot of content that I have here for choosing platforms, so don't get scared. I'm going to skip over a lot of it, but the platform that I like the best if you have a lot of video and a lot of galleries is Wix. I find that's a really easy one to create if you're very creative and you don't want to, just fill in the blanks on a website. You really want to move things around. Wix is a good one for that. It also has a really good built-in e-commerce tool that allows you to add inventory, and it's very powerful. I use it for my own site. I use it for Knock on Wood. I use it for FemSteam PTBO. I've used it for Pan Austin, which is manufacturing. So I've used it for a lot of different types of sites. So e-commerce, if you have a site that has a few inventory, like say under 40 elements that you're selling, Weebly is a great website for that. And it's in partnership now with Square. So it allows you to create a really nice website. And I'm going to show you some examples for Weebly. And Colleen, which one did you guys use?
The Weebly Square.
That's what I thought. How's it
Yeah.
going for you?
It's good, but I keep tweaking it.
You're always tweaking it. You're always
I
going back
know.
and making it better.
Yeah,
Now, so how did you find learning how to use Weebly?
that's easy. And I'm the type of person, like, if I have too many choices, then I don't know what to pick from.
Right.
But-
And so this one was perfect because you have a lot
Yeah.
of visuals. You got great products. You've
Mhm.
got great product photos, I meant to say. And you've been able to really make it come to life quickly, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I was happy about that, matching that up with you. That was perfect. Then if you have, thank you, Colleen. Then if you have a lot of inventory, one that really works well is called Shopify for a larger inventory. We use that Shopify if someone has a physical store and they have a lot of inventory in their store and they want that same inventory to match their online inventory. We've been using Shopify. So that one is a really good one. And I'm just going to let Ruby outside. I'll be right back. Say hi. Say hi. Now go out. Go on. Go on. Get. Now she wants back in. Oh my goodness, I have to put a dog door out here as well, it seems. So, so WordPress is one that it is easier to use now than it used to be. It has a lot of plugins, which is one of the things I don't like about WordPress, is that Weebly and Shopify and Wix, they are hosted in the cloud by Shopify, Weebly, or Wix. And as something you're using on it changes, they upgrade their platform. Whereas with WordPress, sometimes what happens is they have plugins, and as that plugin may not have anything to do with WordPress, and it becomes out of date. So you want to be careful with the plugins that you use. WordPress has become very creative as far as their approach, and it also it's very SEO friendly, and it has a really good e-commerce platform called WooCommerce that goes along with WordPress. And then finally, there's the Google listing itself. When you create your Google listing, you can create a free website on there, which doesn't replace your website if you don't want it to. It's basically telling Google what you do. So I have enabled my free website on mine, and all of my clients on their Google listing, it's on the bottom left when you're into the back end of your Google listing, just so that I can tell Google a little more about my site. And where it populates its site from are the posts you post to your Google listing. That's what shows up on that website. You doesn't have any e-commerce. You're not adding verbose galleries. It doesn't give you any of those kind of items. It doesn't give you shipping elements, nothing like that. It's just basically a, I want to call it an old fashioned flyer on in digital. But what's nice is Google owns it and it's really easy. So there are some companies that I've worked with, like small grocery stores, where they didn't have time to update a website and they've just created a Google listing website, and it's worked out really well because all they wanted to do was get found, and that allows you to get found. So it's really cool that way. So this is my 4-step process to figuring out what platform you need. So first, what you want to think of is, do I already have a virtual payment system that I use? Am I using eTransfer, PayPal, Square, WooCommerce? So if you already use one of these, for example, if you use Square, then it probably makes sense that you use Weebly as your website because Square owns Weebly. If you already use, for example, PayPal, you can use PayPal on any of these platforms. Maybe you don't need another payment system. Maybe you're just going to use one of these software websites and use PayPal on there. Next thing you want to think about is, which products am I going to sell online? Is it a service? Is it a digital product, which they're downloading, or is it a product, meaning a physical product? If it's a physical product, then you've got to start thinking about, how am I getting that physical product to my end target? And that's where Colleen can attest to, that's where a lot of the thought comes through, because now all of a sudden you've got to look at, am I working with am I shipping it? Am I working with Canada Post? Am I working with Purolator? So you're going to have those discussions with your delivery teams, those teams, and then they have plugins often for your website that you choose, that you can then decide, okay, so someone is now going to say they want it delivered from my location. They're entering their address. It's going to automatically upload. It's automatically going to decide what your shipping costs are to them. So going through that is probably the most tedious part of your e-commerce journey. That in itself could be a whole half-day lecture on how to set up your delivery. But that's something you need, your fulfillment. You need to think that through. And then when you're looking at where your clients actually find out about your products, so is it going to be a Shopify website? Is it going to be a Weebly website? So what website are you going to choose? And as I said earlier, if it's visual and video intense, you might want to go with Wix. If you want a lot of choices, if you want fewer choices as far as how you're going to set it up, Weebly is probably a good one to go with. And once you've set up your website, then you go to your social media and link back to those items on your website you want people to find. Why is that? Because that helps your SEO. If you think, I'd like people to find this page, this product on my website, if you don't do a post about it once in a while, linking back to that page on your site, you're not helping the internet find it. So you're going to take that step back and think, I really want people to find this area of products, this catalog of products, or this service that I offer. Then make sure in your planning for your posts, you have a post about that at least once a week, where you're sending people back to that part of your website. So now Google knows that the words that you've said in your post, because it's reading LinkedIn or it reads Facebook posts, and it sees the link back to your website. So it knows, oh, that page on that website is about blank. So this all brings it all together for you. So here's a good example. One of my friends, That's a Wrap. During COVID last year, she was letting people know that she sells food and that you can get pre-catered food online, but she didn't have the shop online part. So this is Weebly. We ended up, she was already had a Weebly site. She was already using Square as her payments. So all we did was go online and create some items that she was going to sell, which happened to be a weekly Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as far as her menu items. And now she sells out on a daily basis. So, and what you'll see is you'll go to her Facebook. So this is what it looks like when you're on her website. She's decided how much these cost. You click on shop and people are able to shop for that day. And if you go to her Facebook, on her Facebook, she'll remind people, here are my specials, and link back to Monday's special, link back to Tuesday's special. So you want to do those together. You've got it on your site, but how will they know about it? You want to make sure you're doing a post back to that page on social or on your Google listing. And here's just an example on Green Street, if you're interested, greenstreetonline.ca. This one we did on Shopify, and it's going extremely well for them. And I'm very happy to see that. And because they have a lot of inventory on bike parts. So we were going to do Wix, but just like Colleen said, they didn't want all of those elements. Like, you know, they wanted to have this, I want this banner, I want that, you know, they want to just be able to say, place a picture here, place a picture here, place a category here. That's what Shopify and that's what Weebly allows you to do. We were able to turn this out quite quickly. What took a lot of time for them was to go in and create each inventory item. Okay, and that was the team there. And this is on Green Street. If you go in, you can go and see all of their different categories. The back end of every single e-commerce platform that you use looks the same. You're going to go in and it allows you to figure out your payment options, figure out your shipping options, figure out you go through these elements in the back end slowly to decide what your process is. And then what you want to do is you want to be able to also, the next thing it allows you to do is you go to your online is to add products. On Shopify, it's called products. On Weebly, it's called items. I think on Wix, it's called items, and WooCommerce on WordPress is called items. And this one happens to be, I think on Square, it's called items as well. So all you do is you go into your items, and what you've got to do is think about what are the categories of products. So if someone's coming to my site, I might have 3 categories. They click on it, they see all the items under that category. They see all the items under the other category. And it could be services, it could be physical products. You're going to put in the title, you're going to put in a name, and you're going to indicate if it's a service, a physical product, or digital, and the price. And then also what happens is you've already thought about the shipping ahead of time, and you've indicated this type of category, we don't ship. They can only pick up in store. Or this type of category, it's digital, so they're going to download. This type of category, we know how much it's going to cost to ship. So that's why you're thinking about categories and how to ship ahead of time. This is another one that you can look at. It's called, these guys had already a website, and they were using Etsy, and it was too expensive for them. So they end up going with the Weebly website, Statement House. And they're still using it, and it's looking beautiful. All of these e-commerce sites have gift certificate or gift cards where someone can buy it online, a gift card for Mother's Day for somebody, or buy a gift card for somebody. And then they get that digital gift card and they use it upon checkout on your online site. So don't forget to look up that. So I'm just going to continue here. Oh, and this would look familiar to you guys. So this is one that is not live yet, but it's coming there. And these are the people that have created, Michelle and Welby created my stickers for me. So everything Indigenous, and very talented family where they have put together a lot of their designs that they can put on shirts, on cups, or you design it yourself. But he is a graphic artist, so he's designing a lot of these. It's very cool. There's another example if you want to look at it. Sorry, they've done this one on Wix. This is also done on Wix for knock on wood. I would go in live and show you, but we've run out of time. So this is the pricing. The pricing for all of these are not very expensive. You can, for under $30 a month, host your website on Wix or on Shopify or on Weebly. It's not expensive. So that's kind of what you want to think about, what type of site you want to have, how creative do you want to be on your site, how are you going to sustain it yourself, and those are the items that you're going to think about. So I'm just going to skip over this because we're going to get a lot more on how you get found on the Google session that we're going to do. We're going to talk about how to optimize your pages and how to optimize your photos and how to optimize your items when we talk about that session in August. Okay, that's where all of this will be. And let me just continue. And I am now going to get into the very last item, which is going to be visuals. And I already talked about this. This is right before the visuals. I'm just reminding you that don't forget to put on your site, if you can, the ability for people to message you real time. People like that now with COVID. They want to be able to message you real time. So it could be that you're using that tool I showed you, but a lot of the websites that you build have also their own app for that. So you might want to look for it. And what will happen is you'll get a notification on your cell phone that someone's trying to talk to you right from your website, and it'll just be text. You can text back, so it's real time. So, and you can decide what time that's on and what time that's off for yourself. Another place you can get the real-time messenger is from Facebook. Facebook has real-time messaging, and a lot of the websites that are out there, like the Wix ones, allow you to use the Facebook Messenger on your website as well. So you have it all in one spot. So that's kind of what Tragically Hip does when she's selling something. She will go online and people will message her, e-transfer her the money, and her sales have been rocking through COVID because of that. So I'm just going to continue this. And the last part is visuals. What they say is that 75% of users judge a company's credibility based on the visuals. It takes them 0.05 seconds for a first impression. It used to be 3 seconds. Now it's 0.05. Oh my goodness. People don't even have attention spans of goldfish anymore. It's a lot less. I think goldfish, anyways, we won't get into that. So, and they also say that video converts 85% more than no video. So this is where you're thinking, I'm going to take a step back. I know people read in an F pattern now. I know I need a couple call to actions. There is nothing more powerful than having a video or a visual underneath your call to action or next to it, so people know what that's about. They're seeing the video and they click on the call to action. That is the best scenario for your website. Don't forget about your brand colors. Think about what your website logo is. Think about what your social media logo is. And I'm saying that because you want to make sure whatever your logo is matches all the way through, so that it matches all the way through, and make sure your colors match all the way through. They say, and I don't have this written anywhere, that you should have 3 colors. Oh no, sorry, 3 fonts. 3 fonts throughout your entire website. I forgot to write that down, but 3 types of fonts. So you might want 1 font for your header, 1 font for maybe your subtitles, and 1 font for your text, is what they say. Brand colors should be an extraction from your logo. Okay. People read in an F. Make sure it's mobile friendly so it loads fast. Authentic. People don't want videos or visuals of stock photo. They want videos or visuals of you creating your product, especially on the About Us. You want real photos of you guys, real photos of the people that are the creators, real photos of clients enjoying your products. Make sure it's engaging. If you can, ask questions on your website, the live chat, having them download something, having them look at your videos, having them click on an action. That's what we mean by engaging. And so the power of visual is your brand colors, your theme. So are you edgy? So what kind of theme are you going to kind of put out there? So what you want to look at. 7 or less menu items, easy to find items. So that's one of the items as well for navigation. Mobile friendly. I had mentioned that already, that it's got to be fast. Authentic means trust. If it doesn't look like authentic photos, you're not going to gain the trust, which means you're not going to get the sales. So make sure, if you guys remember my team principle, it's got to be trustworthy, whatever you're posting and on your website, which means it's got to be authentic. Engaging. Do you have something where they can, your action buttons, which is what A stands for, is the action, and measurable. I love measuring everything I do online, which is why I like it. I can look at last month and say, yeah, okay, nobody came to this one page. Why is that? I didn't link to it, I didn't post to it, or it's really my clients could care less about it. So I really like being able to measure. So real photos, real videos create the trust. E-commerce. We're just going to wrap up in a little bit, but if you look at Chesler Shoes, one of my clients I've been working with since the summer, they've just introduced on their shopping, when you're going to check out, if you look at their Riker shoes, a video where the shoes are on a merry-go-round and it rotates. Now that's not very personal, but it's on their e-commerce page where you're looking to buy a product. It's appropriate there because people want to be able to see the product. They zoom in, they want to see it on a merry-go-round where it's going around in a circle. So video carousel for that works really well because people want to see that Chesler Shoes sell shoes. They want to see all the way around it. So product and lifestyle photos. So not only do you want to have on a video carousel, if this is e-commerce, people sometimes want to see how is that product used. So that's what we call lifestyle. So if you look at Kawartha TV and Stereo, one of my other clients, what we try to do is not just outdoor speakers. If you look at their social media posts I did today, I also have an outdoor speaker in someone's backyard. So instead of just the speaker, I'm showing the lifestyle photos. And then your YouTube video links. When I do that carousel on Chesler Shoes, we upload it to YouTube with the same keywords. So YouTube, which is owned by Google, sees the video. It's also on their website. So it knows that website has those types of shoes as well. So it all kind of works hand in hand. And then your product headlines, every single product you create has a title and a description. And we're going to talk more about that next time. So I think I already talked about that, and that's it. It's exactly 2 minutes after 2. So I hope that was helpful. I have a couple of links in here that I didn't go through, but I don't mind just sending this to those of you that were on the call, because I think you'll find this. I really like this. I just found it yesterday, and it just gave some really good examples. And then there was another one in here that gave some of the best websites that are currently out there. And I absolutely love it. It's some really cool ideas that are way beyond what we're talking about. But there's the F pattern, of course, which I thought was interesting. But they get into, okay, it's not this one, but there's another one here, honestly, somewhere where they get into some really cool gaming websites where what they've done is instead of 7 navigation buttons, you have to follow this truck around their website to get to the next location. So one of the new things that are starting to come to the surface is how to turn your website into a gaming website. So way out there, I'm not talking about today, but that's one of the things that I was looking at as far as this link I will share with you. So those of you that are on this call today, I'll be happy to send you those 3 links because I found them very helpful. So are there any questions? How does that go by so fast all the time?